What up, Lions? We got Max in the studio today.
What's up, guys? What's up?
Max doesn't like structure. So, we've decided to not label more than one topic for this podcast. And it is quite an intense topic. We're talking about BDSM and basically just like relationships. And yeah, so how do you explain to someone what BDSM is? Like if my grandma asked me, you know, Fee, what's BDSM? Like, how should I tell her? How should I break it to her?
Very, very gently?
Yeah, how? How would you gently tell someone this?
That is a good question. How do you,
You know?
gently tell somebody
Like,
that...
Grandma, how can I explain this to you?
I like whips and chains.
Whips and chains. But son.
But son.
But son.
This is not normal. That's not normal at all. I know.
Okay, so whips and chains, that like entail like using them how? Like,
well, BDSM, as we deferred from research before, it's bondage, discipline, dominance, submission,
sadomasochism.
Yeah, I can't say that word.
Sadomasochism.
Fucking A. Sadomasochism.
Yeah, and then submission, and then BDSM.
Yeah, we got it.
Masochism. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But how do you explain it to your grandma?
I think if I were about to explain it to my grandma, I would be like, okay, so basically picture like an abusive relationship between like, you know, like a man and a woman, except it's the same thing, except the woman likes it.
So it's consensual and it's wanted.
Yeah. But like the actions of an abusive relationship, kind of.
You know, I guess there is like hitting and choking and hair pulling, and there's other things inside of that.
Like you can go as far as using like things on people. Like,
yeah, like whips you can use
on
like
people.
Weapons? Weapons?
Yeah, well, a whip.
I don't consider a whip a weapon.
It depends how you use it.
That is true. Just get in there in the bedroom with some big bullwhip. You're mine now.
But like, think of all the other weapons. Like, remember that spatula thing that we were talking about?
Oh yeah, the paddle.
The paddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would feel safe walking with that at night.
You get some like fucking weird looks.
Yeah,
though.
but I'd feel safe. So, AKA weapon. But yeah. So, anyways, so there's that. But like, so you're into that. Mm-hmm. What do you like about it?
It's a dominance and control thing.
Yeah.
It's the whole idea of like setting, at least for somebody who's dominant, setting the tone that you are the one that's in control and have all the power over your submissive or your partner, whether what roles they are inside of this whole large realm of
because that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's two parties, the dominant and the submissive, but then you were telling me you can have like ones where there's switch.
You have I can't say that word either.
Dominatrix.
Yes, dominatrix.
Which are female dominants.
Yeah.
And then they're also called mistresses.
Yeah, so there's mistresses, which are the equivalent like masters.
Masters. And what is a master?
This sounds weird. 50 Shades of Grey does a good way of showing it. It's like an all-around... Like, a dominant is more of sexually, like, aggressive only during, like, sexual acts.
Okay.
Not always, but the majority.
But also, doesn't he, like, set up her life? Doesn't he, like, pay for her things?
Well, master does that.
A master does that.
A master is more of, like, a all-around...
Support.
Not only support... Like,
because to be dominant, you have to have some authority over the other person. So you have to have you have to support them in some way.
Mm-hmm. Whether it's emotionally, actually like money wise, or like, sexually, more than just in bed. Probably there's people who, as there's the very famous 50 Shades of Grey, like the balls that you slide inside of your partner, and as she walks, they vibrate.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably as well on there.
Okay. What's the difference between a pimp and a master, then? Because pimps do the same thing, no?
No, pimps like pimp. They sell their girls to other dudes.
Okay, so then masters
Like
just...
a master is like, this is my girl, this is...
Girls.
No, not girls. Girl or girls.
Girls,
It's
yeah.
plural.
Okay, so girl or girls.
Yeah.
And you...
At least in my point of view.
Okay, yeah. Are all masters the same?
No.
No.
Everybody's different. That's why, like, no sub's the same either. You might have, like, friction between one sub that another master may not have or another dom may not have.
Just like, yeah, humans, right?
Mm-hmm. The same way in a relationship, kind of the same way. Like, some people are made more to fit with another personality than another.
Yeah.
And that's the balance between, like, when you're doing this as well, is finding, like, how far can you go where it's comfortable, and then when is that line where it's uncomfortable and she doesn't feel like you're that person to do that. And that's always, like, one of the harder things to kind of differentiate inside of, like, the act itself.
What do you mean by that?
Well, inside of it, you have, like, a lot of manipulation on both sides.
Between the dominant and the submissive.
Yeah.
There's manipulation. How?
Well, for the dominant, it's the assertion of power, it's the control, it's the, like, the claiming. A lot of, like, you belong to me, the aggressiveness, choking, hair pulling, spanking.
But even emotional aggression, like, you can't do this. You're not allowed to do this if I'm not here. Or, like, don't do this with any other... Can submissives have different masters, or a master would not allow that?
As me personally, no.
Yeah. So are you a master?
Yeah. I would consider myself to be that.
And do you have more than one submissive?
Yes.
How many?
6.
Do they all know about each other?
In ways, yes. Some more than others.
And how do they feel about that?
Well, it's mixed. People who kind of come into this whole idea, are very kind of, I wouldn't say closed-minded about this, but since the idea of monogamy has been so kind of pushed in this modern day in society, all the way going back until medieval and even before that, but times of, like, names had, like, power to it, like, came with the states and stuff like that. That's when monogamy really hit, and from that point on, it's kind of always been in there. So when somebody from the outside kind of comes in, there's a lot of friction with that, because feelings of, that's like, he belongs to me, I don't want him to be seeing other people.
It's wrong to see more than one person at a time.
Well, that's also, like, that is a big issue also with, like, open relationships and stuff like that. Like, seeing other people, like, even breaks. Like, you don't take a break if you're not going to see other people. Honestly.
Yeah, of course.
And
breaks just make you feel better about it, because you're not attached to that person.
Yeah, well,
because mentally that would
screw.
Well, if
like,
you take
you have
a break,
the emotional support there if you need, but you don't need to take care of that. Like, you don't need to work on it.
Yeah, it's so true.
And this is a total opposite thing when you're being, like, a master or something like that. Like, if you're a master or a dom, you want to take care of
all of them.
Yeah, of all of them. And
equally? I hope they don't watch this. But I hope they do, actually.
Well, you can't say equally, because each person has their own needs.
That's true. So you're there for them in whatever way they need.
In whatever way they need.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the kind of thing. Like, whether it'll be emotionally, sexually, friend-wise, like...
That's so true.
It does. You're not only, like, a master. It's not like this is the thing. Like, being a master is really a lot of times put in with being a dom, and it's only about sex, and it's not. It's really about the lifestyle of which you live with your partner or partners inside of that whole field.
Are all of these submissives, like, BDSM oriented?
No.
So then would they even be considered submissive?
Yeah,
or would some of them be considered, like, relationship and then others submissive?
Well, the roles are not part of BDSM. The acts are what are part of BDSM.
Yeah. Do you do those acts with all of them?
Some yes, some no.
Okay.
It matters. The issue is, like I said before, is always figuring out where that line is. Because there's some things that are totally okay, and there's things that are like, no. Like,
what would be a no?
How many women have you heard say no to butt stuff?
A lot of women.
Exactly. That's like one of the most common like no's, and that's like a line that, especially in BDSM, can be crossed quite easily.
Okay.
Whether it be like butt plugs or the fucking what are they called? They're like the double fucking sided dildo thingies.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
But like, you know, there's a lot of toys inside of this whole BDSM world that would kind of push that line.
Okay.
And this is like one of the things you have to figure out is like, where is that line inside of like BDSM? Because you can be really aggressive in sex and it's not BDSM.
Yeah, that's true.
But
so you also can do role playing. I think that's BDSM.
that's a form.
A form,
Yeah.
depending on what goes down in the role playing.
Yeah.
But what about? Sorry, I'm blanking. BDSM.
So much to think about.
No. I was trapped in my thoughts.
I still can't get past the fact that you're talking about like saying this to your Nan. All right, Nan, hold your heart. I'm gonna tell you something really, really, really deep. I like whips and chains. Grandma, come back!
Grandma, come back. Okay, give me a story about something that has happened in BDSM that someone would look at and be like, oh my God, Grandma. You cannot know about this story.
Oh, God. Sexually what? I mean...
Well, like, because you were telling me something about, like, you know, a part of BDSM is also choking.
Yeah,
that can get really dangerous.
Well, I think even in personal experience, I've never got to the point where I'm like really seriously like worried about somebody's like life being endangered. But there is moments that even you kind of go, oh shit, like I might be doing this too hard.
Okay.
And there's the also issue of like submissives being too submissive in that point. Like
Submissive
not saying stop,
anything.
I can't fucking breathe. But then again, some people really like that. And that's what I was talking.
Playing with fire.
It's playing with fire, but it's also like I said, it's a line that like, can it be crossed? If it can be, how far can you go past that? Or is it just like a no kind of thing? And that's always a really weird and difficult thing to like totally grasp if you're not in the world itself. Like if you're looking from the outside, like a lot of people go, it's dangerous. There's a lot of fucking wacky, weird shit that people do. And especially in this day and age, I don't think a lot of people are totally comfortable with all their kinks.
You don't think?
No.
Why?
Well...
What kinks would we not be comfortable with?
Feet.
Yeah. I was actually going to mention that before.
Yeah, I was thinking that, like, that's like a no-no for me.
Yeah.
But I know people that are, like, they'll be sexting chicks and, girls, send me a picture of your feet. I'll go, why?
What? Like, no.
I can't judge it. I mean,
but I don't get it. Like, what? What do they do with these feet? They put them some places. Oh, no. I don't know why my mind went there.
Well, do you want to hear something kind of messed up? Have you ever heard of what a foot job is?
No, stop.
That's an actual thing.
Stop it.
That's an actual thing.
What is it?
It's like a hand job, but done with your feet.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've never thought of that. I've never had that thought in my life, so I'm picturing it in my mind. And that's a weird
As a guy who's experienced that, like, had that happen, like, I've had
that.
Yeah. It's fucking weird. Like, no disrespect to anybody who likes it, but, like, not for me. It doesn't float my boat.
So what happened? Like, you were just like, no, can we stop, please?
Yeah, it's just like 5 minutes into it, you're going, I don't know where those feet have been. I don't know.
You're, like, looking at the bottom and all, like, the...
Oh, don't make me think about that.
The bottom of feet are gross.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, then you go, like, I have a friend of mine who's like, yeah, my girlfriend sends me a picture of her feet every single fucking day. But the thing, and I go, well,
weird.
Doesn't it, like, after a while, like, isn't it kind of weird? And he goes, no. I mean, she has really nice, clean feet. And I go, okay.
I mean, yeah. Sure. I can kind of understand.
We can't diss
other
kinks
people's
except
kinks.
Humiliation, you naughty, naughty pervert.
Yeah, humiliation is another form of BDSM. Just like Yeah.
Well,
crazy.
that's a big spectrum of things to say. You can go all the way to like public humiliation. I don't know if you ever like heard or seen stuff like that before.
No.
Oh yeah.
Like what?
Well, probably like the most well known is like public fuckings. Like I don't know if you've ever seen like LA like public fuckings and shit like that. Oh, so
people are having sex in public.
Yeah.
And then someone humiliates them.
Pretty much they get gangbanged, but like most of the time this is women doing this, just because this is like something in the porn industry that's kind of popped off recently. Not kind of, has popped off recently, but like it's the idea of like being a toy to other people. Like, this is gonna sound really weird, but being a fuck toy to other people, like that's kind of like that's one form of humiliation.
Okay.
Another one can be like, you know, saying, "Oh, you're a slut, you're a whore." Like, you know, I mean, you add in other things to it, but like,
okay, degrading.
Yeah, that's pretty much it is. It's a degrading kind of
reinforcement.
In a way.
That's weird, man. But no, not judging. Just it's different. That's what I meant
to
say.
It almost is like, because technically a lot of times, at least personally, what I'm saying, it's like your mind or you're my dirty slut. It's like you're still kind of giving the enforcement that like you're mine, but you're also like asserting your power. Like I belong, not I belong over you, but I am over you, and
yeah, like, you belong to me.
Yeah, you do what I say, kind of thing, and you are what I tell you, and it's
crazy, man.
Yeah, it's fucking whack. I can definitely see that, but from an outside point of view, I can see why it's fucking scary.
Yeah, why?
Well,
because people are very.
Would you normally like to be choked? Like,
it depends. Like, I mean, for people.
If you were walking on the street.
Yeah, no.
And
obviously, it depends on the context.
Went over and just grabbed your neck and just
started. No, fuck no.
Yeah, exactly.
It's scary.
So when you're in bed and like, you know, they goes choke me, like a lot of people go, why? Because they're not in the context of like, this shit turns like that person on. Like, yeah. You know, the sex with that extra element is what pushes them to the edge or over the edge and like to the point of ecstasy or orgasm or whatever. Even though a good percent of guys can't make a girl orgasm, which sucks. That's sad. Gotta get your game going, boys.
You're a boy.
I'm a man.
You're a master. You're a master. Okay, that's really interesting. Well, would you consider yourself to also be in an open relationship with like all of these women?
No, because there's no dating at this point.
Oh, like, so you have to be dating to be in an open relationship.
Yeah, that's the difference between like submissive and like dominant. Like, that's not a relationship. That's a relationship in power. That's all.
But like what I'm saying is, what if one of your subs had a boyfriend?
Well, then they would be in an open relationship, and I would be I don't know how that would work. A master
to someone in an open relationship.
I don't know how that would work. Something I might want to try one day, but like,
because if there's dating involved, you're still involved in that, but on the other side of it.
Yeah.
So you would technically be involved in an open relationship. It's really interesting. And what do you say to people who look at open relationships as completely wrong and they're like, no, that's disgusting?
Humans were made to be polygamous. I don't know if you know this, but the way that the male like penis is made to scoop out sperm from the other guy. Like, we're not supposed to be monogamous. And it wasn't until around the around the beginning of the dark times when like property and names came, like the whole idea of like if you marry into a family you get an estate, you get titles. Like, and when that happened, that's where the idea of monogamy came in, because you want to be married to the king.
And religion as well. Like, oh, you're doing this in the eyes of God, and like it's important to commit to a divine being, as well as to yourself and to your partner, in front of the eyes. Yeah, and I also think that whole thing was a backlash against the rowdiness of the ancient religions. Okay.
Just think of Zeus, who went and slept with pretty much every single living thing he can see. Human, nymph, satyr, fucking spider. Like...
Okay.
Yeah. Like... I think that whole idea, and I think this is another reason why a lot of people are against it, who are religious, is because it reminds them too much of the animalistic idea of the older religions. Like,
yeah, I think it reminds people too much of animalistic
animalistic qualities. Yeah.
And they're like, like, we're supposed to be in a civilized world. We're supposed to be like humans who can control ourselves. But then it's like, well, what if we don't want that control? What if some humans don't want that control because it's against nature? Then where does that leave us? Biting.
Yeah.
Sucks, man.
Yeah, it does suck. I also think that in this day and age now, more and more people are seeing these whole ideas of like these couple goals.
Couple goals.
Like
hashtag.
the online like, pictures of people being happy, and like, people always try to strive for that in a relationship. And that's good. That's always healthy in a relationship. But people have to understand that it's not going to happen the first time. It's not going to happen the 12th time. It could be any random person.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people get too into the idea of monogamy too fast. Like, when people are like 12, even I was doing it when I was young, you always go like, oh, we're going to be together forever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's total BS. I'm sorry to say this to everybody.
But you never know. Some people.
But the majority, the partner that you're with right now, in the next year, come back to this podcast, and if you're still with them, comment and say, I'm still with them, I proved you wrong. If not, like this video.
And still leave a comment, please.
And still leave a comment saying I was right. But, like, I think the idea that a lot of people, like, miss nowadays is the idea that if you're not going to... Sticking to one person as you're growing does not make you grow. I'm sorry, but being with the same person...
Maybe it can make someone grow. Maybe if they commit to growing together and they do, like, every new activity every weekend.
But it's still closing off a part of them.
A part of them sexually.
No, not
other people.
Not sexually. So, personality-wise and everything like that.
Personality-wise, okay, explain
every
that.
Every person's different. Like, every person is uniquely different.
Yes.
Your girlfriend at the time will not do the same things that your best friend does for you. It won't be the same that some other girl down the street that you just saw will do for you. Or another guy will do for you. Or another, like, whatever. The idea of trying to trying to lock down years at a young age, at least personally what I feel, as much as it sounds like a wonderful romantic idea, doesn't really make sense in the idea of growth as somebody who is interested in relationships. Because if you're going to throw yourself into something without any knowledge whatsoever, without any background, and people can go, oh, I've been dating people all my life. Yeah, that's great, but how much have you learned from that? How much have you changed from that? Like, this is another thing is like so many people go, it's her fault, it's his fault, it's her fault, it's his fault. Like, maybe it's not either one of their faults. Maybe it's just they can't
They're growing apart.
Yeah, they don't mesh together in the end. And this is the other thing. The whole idea of like a honeymoon phase where everything's perfect will always be there. Because both people will try to make it work out no matter what. And then you guys start getting comfortable and then old habits come back. And this is why a lot of people go, he changed or she changed. It's like, this is probably one of the most common things. Divorce. I don't know if it's the same in Canada, but in the States it's like over 50%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Most people get divorced at least once.
I think it's exactly 50% here. Like, it's half the divorce rate, I think. Anyways, we'll check that.
But that's more than, like... That's alarming, like...
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that the people are not happy.
No, people aren't happy.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yes, definitely. Not the wedding pudding, though.
No, or cake. Sad. So what do you think about, like, people who have been together their whole lives? Do you, like, look at them and you're like... Man, I feel sorry for you.
I'll tell you a story. So, I was going in Vermont when I was living back in the States. We went to go see a show. And there was this old guy sitting on the bench next to his wife. They're probably about in their 80s. And they were talking about how we've been living living and loving for I think like 47 years. Or
47 years.
And I asked him how did he do it, and he looks over, he pulls me over, and he goes, "You cheat." I am dead serious. That's what he said. He said you cheat. You don't let her know, and you cheat. And no matter how wonderful it looks, no matter what, people get doubts. And this is also like the other dangerous thing is like you get doubts, but you still want to be with them, and this whole on and off relationship dangerous. Is such a dangerous thing because that grounds you more than being in a relationship with somebody you don't like or that you're not happy with.
What do you mean that grounds you more?
Like if you're on and off, you're not gonna explore. You're not gonna have enough time to explore somebody else's personality. You're just gonna go right back to the person. Then you're gonna fight because you're going back to the same issue that you guys probably didn't resolve at all.
Yeah.
Am I saying that going on and off is bad? No, but from the majority that I've seen and I've heard and an experience.
Well, you're not free. You're not free to be happy. You're always holding on to like grudges and arguments, so you can't like move on and find another person.
And this is always...
It's complicated, man. Because then I think about open relationships and I'm like, what does that mean for the future of open relationships? Like, what if you end up starting an open relationship when you're this young and then you grow up to be like 35 and you're like, wow, I love my life. I love being with several people, but then you want like someone's kids. Are you going to like have kids with like every person?
No. Like, companionship will always be there. You will find somebody in your life that you will want to be with for the rest of your life.
Oh, really?
That will happen at least one day.
Okay.
The idea of being like, if you're in open relationships or like polygamous relationships where you can see multiple people, the thing is most of the time you have somebody that is kind of your main person. Like your main girl, the person that you were, at least in my, like the person that you want to spend the most time with, the person that you talk to most, the person you first reply to, like most of the time when you have multiple people in open relationships, there is one that takes priority over everybody else.
It's so true.
So that may influence on who you choose. I'm 20 years old. I am not looking for kids yet, so I can't really give you a perfect answer for that.
I know, but it's just like something to muster over when you get to like 30 and you're like, I want kids. Which one should I choose? It's an interesting thought.
Isn't this supposed to be the opposite way, though? Isn't the woman supposed to go, I want kids. I need somebody who's financially stable. I need somebody who's not a psychopath and who has a car. No?
No.
It must have been like back in the 80s or something like that. Financial stability is not like a thing
anymore?
Yeah,
I guess it... I mean, we call them gold diggers?
I think it was little... no. 21 Savage.
Okay.
21 Savage did there was a post I saw that he did, and it was, a man will do anything for a woman. A woman will only do certain things for certain guys.
Ooh, and I like that.
21 Savage wrote underneath, women don't choose, they move in.
Like meaning they don't give the man a choice?
Yeah. Like, it... On top, like, the thing is, like, you're not going to go for a random person. Like, they're not going to go for some guy that's doing an A-list job. Not an A-list job, but, like, a subpar job who's, I hate to say this, but gentlemen, sitting on your couch all day long is not attractive for women, and it will not get you laid. I'm sorry, but that doesn't work. Nor does sending dick pics on social media work either.
You don't think? So
stop doing... No.
Why?
I went through a Snapchat story. Yeah. This is a true fucking story.
The worst nightmare in the world.
Yesterday morning, I was going through my fucking Snapchat. And I guess my friends thought he was going to send a dick pic to his girlfriend. Or his girl, yeah. And posted it on his story.
Oh my god. I would lose my shit if I was a man and I had a dick and I did that. Like, I would die.
I mean...
It's like the worst modern day contemporary problem that could like ever arrive.
As long as it's not Facebook, because parents use Facebook. I have never seen a parent.
I'd rather my parents see this shit than like
I would not
my friends to see my privates. Come on, you'd rather your parents and your parents' friends be like, "Oh, Johnny, take down your picture, hurry!" Than your friends being like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?" No, dude,
it's happened to me before though.
It happened to you?
Yeah. My little brother was the one who caught me.
No.
Yeah, he literally messaged me from his room. He Max, take down the dick pic that's on your fucking Snapchat story right now. I'm like, oh shit, thank you.
Oh my god.
Saved my life there.
Yeah, man. It's scary, like, that we're doing this and that there are actual, like, apps within apps, like Snapchat. It'll disappear, so you feel comfortable using that platform to send a pic because, oh, it disappears after 10 seconds. Yeah, what about, like, you used that platform to take the picture? What if it like saved into that platform without you knowing, and it's like part of it, and like people can like see this data?
I wish that could be true.
I'm sure it's true.
There's a lot of Snapchats I wish I could have saved them, but
I'm sure they have them. I'm sure they're the ones who manufactured the app. For sure they could program like a hidden section for only them to see. I believe it.
I don't know. What's your invasion of privacy laws here? I know in the States that would never fly. They can't do that via regulation. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know in Canada, but
I don't know. But Mark Zuckerberg puts a little black piece of tape above his MacBook to hide the camera, and I should do that. It's a must.
See, I would do that too.
Yeah.
But I walk around the house naked, so if they do see me, they instantly shut off the thing, like the Snapchat story I saw.
They shut it off?
Yeah, probably. Nobody wants to
Or
go...
they screenshot.
It's not like my nudes haven't been on the internet before.
I guess. It's crazy, this world.
This is the one thing. There's nothing wrong if you're over 18 sending nudes to another person that's over 18. Emphasis on over 18.
No catfishing. Make sure you're not sending these pics to like people you don't know, because you don't know how old they are. No catfishing.
But there's nothing wrong with sending nudes. Like, I think there's a fucking meme going around that's pretty funny. It's like a nude from a woman is beauty. A dick pic from a guy is a sausage that wants to fuck.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's true. Like, as any guy who watches this podcast, if you get like a booty pic or like tits or anything, you're like, oh damn. But I can assure you, whoever's taking dick pics right now probably takes about 7 different angles to try to get it looking the best it possibly can.
Yes. What's wrong with that? It's art. Right? It's a form of art.
I'm sorry, but even as a guy who has a penis, it doesn't look... It's not photogenic. Genitals are not... at least
I think
male
you need, like,
genital.
the proper lighting. Yeah, you need the perfect environment and, like, filter, you know? Work with what you got.
Snapchat unlocks dick pic filters.
I know. It's crazy.
It'll be, like, the one that makes, like, your face bigger. But it'll be for, like, your dick.
Oh, my God. Maybe.
I'm patenting this right now. Dick, what's Snapchat? Dick chat. Dick chat.
No.
Nude swap. That's it. Nude swap.
What, is that a real thing?
No.
TM.
TM?
Trademark. TM. Okay, so to wrap up on, like, sending nudes and stuff, since that is, like, the day and age that we're growing up in, and it's becoming normal.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
Well, I think the idea of self-expression on the internet is always going to be there. Especially now with this large YouTube and social media kind of following. Do I think, personally, like, sending nudes is, like, a no-no? No. I think it's totally fine. Do whatever you want to do. Do I think you should be careful? Yes. Guys, normally, most girls don't like random dick pics. Or you going, like, you know, oh, I'm going to come over and, like, randomly, like, on, like, game boards or, like, social media, like, just don't do it. Like, out of respect for them and yourselves, because it's like a 99% chance they're gonna say no, and like a 0.1% chance they're gonna say yes, or 0.99.9% chance they're gonna say no. Actually, because it's not flattering. Dick pics aren't flattering. Like, nudes are, like, don't get me wrong, but like randomly unsolicited dick pics.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, no. That's
especially unsolicited.
Yeah, like, this is the only thing though. Women, you have a block button. Use it. If there's a creep there, don't fucking just leave like 8,000 messages, because they will start figuring out that you're still online. Block them.
Yeah.
Block them, get them out of your life, because you don't need that. There's a lot, also talking about like social media on top of it. There's a lot of these fake nude bots, sex bots, sexual websites and shit like that are now coming in too. So if you start engaging in them, this is more for the guys actually. But if you start engaging with them, be careful, because you could get viruses, you could get scammed.
Yeah.
Or you could just have your entire identity stolen from these people. So like,
don't do that.
Yeah, be careful who you send your dick to and where you post it, if you're a guy.
And let's get into then followers and leaders, because that's another thing we wanted to talk about is like, followers, Instagram. That was like my segue. Followers and leaders. How can you tell the difference between a follower and a leader?
Well, that's pretty straightforward. I mean, a follower is somebody that follows a personality that is shining out of the crowd. Like, a leader is somebody who makes himself known to be like a lead. It's really hard to explain what the qualities of a leader could be in the general basis. Most of the time I find it is like some form of authority, organization, and like good communicative skills.
Yeah.
Well,
because I feel like with celebrity, you have sort of familiarity, which gives you power. Because like, especially movie stars, if you saw a movie star on the street at 2 a.m. in the dark with a hoodie on, you would not be scared. You'd be like, holy shit, man, can I get your autograph?
Yeah.
So like, there's this sense of like fear taken away, which gives you power, because people know you and know what you're about, which kind of makes you a leader.
Yeah. Kind of.
But it's like, that's how like influencers are spawning. Because they want to be known and they want to eliminate that fear. Sometimes.
But an influencer and a leader are two different things. Somebody that influences the opinion of somebody else does not always lead somebody else. A good thing of it, like flat earthers. Like,
yeah, that's a good example actually.
There is no, yes, and I will argue anybody, there is no fucking proof that the world is flat. That I can know, and I've looked and seen like the little curvature of the earth as you look over the horizon. Y'all be smoking some shit, because
there are some good sort of explanations against it. You can watch my flat earth video on YouTube to check it out. But
selfless plugins. But
it's crazy.
Like, the whole idea of like the flat earth movement, like, it's based off of a really old fundamental idea. Like old.
Okay, so like these are followers then who are just like putting this information out there?
Yeah, they're followers that put the information out there.
What about the leader who created this idea?
He's probably dead by now.
So the people who took over, did they become leaders in this?
No, because like there was the first, I think it was in 2017, there was the first like flat earth like convention. And there was a bunch of people that spoke about it and anything like that. There are people who are like more quote unquote well versed with it. But there's nobody that's gone and said like, outright out front that like, flat earth is flat earth and these are the like there's nobody that's really like like for example the Colin Kaepernick thing.
No, I don't know.
So there was a kneeling down during the NFL.
Okay, yeah.
Like, he was leading a movement.
Yeah.
And you knew he was, because he was there. Like, you know, he was doing the actions, he was there in the beginning. When you're doing something like flat earthing, like, it's a lot of sharing of information. It's a lot of, like I say, influencers.
Yeah.
But nobody's taking, like, this... Nobody's at the tip of the spear kind of going, well, this is, like, what we're doing. It's kind of just, a patchwork of people who are kind of following a general idea.
Would you consider yourself a leader?
I don't know. Because
Why?
I like to lead, but I'm also not against following.
Following what?
Well, I mean... As somebody who, like, is always open to, like, collaborate and, like, you know, take in other people's ideas.
Yeah.
The idea of always being, like, the lead for something, like, at least personally, it makes me feel like I'm missing out on stuff. So, like, the idea of giving it to somebody else who can take over and, like, do their thing, and then you can, like, see what their plans have done to change, and then you get better ideas. Like,
yeah.
For me... having absolute control outside of, like, the realms of, like, you know, being a master and everything.
Outside of your sex life.
Yeah, outside of my sex life and everything. If it's more of, like, leadership as in a way, like, running a group or running, like, you know, a work team or something, yeah, that's fun, but it's not my main goal.
What's your main goal?
It's rather just to bring everybody together. Like, I'd rather be, like, a second in command that can, like, you know, gets the troops all together and, like, keeps morale high. Because it's more fun to do.
Being a leader is a lonely occupation sometimes.
Most of the time to be...
Like, I'm thinking of presidencies and people, like, at the top of companies, CEOs. It's like a lonely, lonely place. You only have you to blame. You know, sometimes people don't understand your problems. Thinking of entrepreneurs and, like, how they run their own businesses, and at the end of the day they have nobody to answer to, so they're leading, but they have a lot of stress and pressure on them.
And this is also, like, something that you kind of go, do I really want that? No, not really.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's also, like, meme culture, I think, also is kind of another idea of, like, the influencers, but not, like,
meme
leaders.
Culture.
Yeah. Like,
for someone who doesn't know what a meme is,
you have no life. A meme...
Or we have no lives. If we know all too well what memes are.
Yes. Memes are comical relief based off of pictures, videos, using, like...
Pop culture.
Yeah, pop culture references inside of it.
Yeah. So, like, an example is, like, that frog sipping tea, being like, but that's none of my business. When, like, something stupid was said and you have a comment to say, like...
Oh, the Kermit the Frog one with the Lipton tea? I was going, what the fuck are you talking about?
And it's just, like, a frog sipping tea, and he's like, well, that's none of my business.
Yeah. But...
It's a meme.
I think meme culture is really kind of differentiated, because, you know, there's, the people that make a shit ton of money and a shit ton of views off of memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go for this. A good example is SoFlo.
SoFlo?
Yeah.
What's that?
You remember his page. It was a black thing with SoFlo written on it. It was a Facebook page. Yeah. And he'd put his face in front of every single, like meme video or Vine video or whatever.
Okay.
And he'd be like, one of his most favorite, do you know, Liza...
Koshy.
Yeah. Do you remember her, like, car thing where she's driving in,
of
like,
course.
her most iconic one?
Yeah.
So, like, he took that video and then put his face in front of it to get kind of more notoriety for it. Totally ripped her off.
Yeah.
But he gained a following that way. He wasn't leading in any way. He's not, like, putting himself out there as, like, creating the content or anything like that. He's following what other people do, seeing that it works, and then just taking it for himself and using it to build his platform.
Yeah, that's kind of what a leader is. I mean, like, innovating based on evidence. It's like art, too. You take pieces of other people's art, and then you create your own, but it's still, like, mimicking until you've created
you create your own. Not you don't create somebody else's.
Right, you create your own, of course. Wait, what are you saying?
Putting, like, just a little clip of you going, like, you know, I feel like this, and then another Vine video by somebody else.
And using their video?
And
no, that's shit.
That's stealing. But this is a big issue nowadays.
But what I'm saying is, like, he used what he knew would work to gain a following.
Yeah.
So he like used the formula, even though it was wrong.
But he's not leading. Because he's following other people in this whole thing. Like, the leaders are the people that do the different things. Like, Liza Koshy, like, when she first did that video, like, that was fucking, universally mind-blowing. Like, that was one of the most, like, I wouldn't say it was one of the most, like, retweeted things I saw on Twitter, but that was a constant
What are you talking about? When she goes into Dollarama and then Target?
No, when she does, like, her, like, dancing videos in the car, like, when she has the music on.
Okay.
You know, all those... Her long selection of car videos that she's done.
Okay.
Because there's many, many, many. Like, that was really, actually, honestly, the beginning of a lot of more serious car memes and vines and stuff like that. And that's, like, she innovated that. She didn't take it from anybody else. Like, she just was being herself and being goofy and putting herself out there. It's not like somebody who's SoFlo
for sure.
who steals that content and then just puts 30 seconds of him looking.
No, that's shit.
Yeah, and just saying anything.
Yeah.
If they send you anything, by the way. This also goes into even the celebrity era. Or not celebrity era, the celebrity area.
Okay.
Because, like, how many people do you see that copy other things? Like,
oh my god, everybody copies. Everything.
Who are the people that go, like, as much as I don't like the Kardashians, like, as much as I think that their whole premise is on being really, really babyish and immature to put out an image.
Yeah.
Kylie Jenner is probably one of the most influential and most leader-like people I know.
Yeah.
As one of the more social media and
I agree.
Celebrity influencers.
Yeah, because even like everyone I know and even myself has been influenced by her at one point or another. Yeah. I fucking bought little red suction devices that I could put on my lips and suck them in to have huge lips. Like, just using air and pressure to, like, make your lips bigger.
Yeah, that's, you know what the Kylie Jenner lip challenge is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's when you know you're some form of level of fame that, like, you know...
is really affecting generations. I bought a waist trainer because of them. Yeah, it was crazy.
But, like, then you take somebody like Kylie. I mean, personally, I don't believe she's, like, a totally self-made woman, but I still see her as a leader, especially probably more influential than Kim. Which I probably would get a lot of shit for that one.
She is younger, and I feel like there are more younger people right now.
I also like
on
going
social media.
Way, 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 way back to the beginning of the conversation. Like, Kim and Kanye have been together for a while. Like, it's kind of boring. Like,
okay, I see what you mean.
I think there's
to society.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, you're hiding your face.
Oh, I am. Oh. I was so into the conversation, but. Like, I think, for instance, like, Kylie being a good influencer, or a really, really powerful influencer, not a good, but differentiates between somebody who's more along the lines of, like, you hear, I'm going to go more politicians just because they're more easily unliked.
Yeah.
But, like, a Donald Trump. Like, before he became president, he wasn't really a leader. Everybody knew who he was. He was an influencer.
He was a leader in his own way, like in his own community, you know, with that, you're fired. What is it called? The
Apprentice?
Apprentice, yeah. You know, like he had his own show.
I liked him before he became... I'm not totally, like, against him, but...
Okay, for people who need to know if they're leaders or followers... What kind of test would you give them to be like, listen, if you do this, this, and this, you're a follower. If you do this, this, and this, you're a leader. How can people know what they are?
The ability to do your own actions to, like, by yourself. If you're going to be, like, a leader and you always need help, it may not be that you're a leader. It may be that you need a group of people to be there. I'm not always saying...
But don't all leaders have groups of people?
Yeah, but most leaders show from the beginning that they can do everything themselves, and they show this sign of, like, strength, diligence, and authority that even by themselves they can get what they need, and they can do what they want.
But a team would just explode them.
Yeah.
It would blow them up.
And, you know, the big fundamental issue people have nowadays is like being alone. I don't think a lot of people enjoy being alone. And
yeah, it's an issue.
Like people who are leaders, I think also have the ability to be alone. Because as you said before, like it's a very lonely position at some point. It's like you take all the responsibility, you run the team, you are the person that kind of makes sure the whole machine works. And I think that is also a big thing, responsibility. Like if somebody can show that they have a really, really good sense of responsibility when it comes to others, not only themselves,
yeah,
that's a good quality for a leader.
Now, if you're a follower?
If you're a follower, I would almost say kind of like if you're looking, like if you're seeing if you're submissive or not. Like how well are you to obey orders and how comfortable are you to like obey like what people say? Because no matter what you do, if you're a follower, you're going to follow. So you have to listen to what people say. Even if it's like something small, like...
That's so interesting because I've been so bad with authority my whole life.
Like,
Justin
going, you can die from drinking hot tea.
And then not drinking the tea.
Yeah. Like...
No, but I'm thinking of like high school teachers telling you what to do or like someone of your friends telling you what to do and like how to act to that. So if you don't act well to that, you're probably not a submissive person.
Well, yeah.
You're probably not a follower.
Yeah. And... I mean, authority takes turns in different ways. Even going, can you go to the, like, there are people who are more likely to help others than other people will. Like, you know, most people have a friend that goes, like, can you go get this? Oh, yeah, I got this, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not that friend.
Oh. But...
It depends to what friend. Some friends deserve it.
Can you get that for me? No. You do it.
Some friends deserve it. Some friends deserve it. Okay. So if you're a follower, just like, well...
It's your relationship to somebody who is already in power. Is how you kind of do it.
Okay.
Like you said that you were very like... Not against authority, but kind of like wanted to do your own thing versus what authority wants.
Yeah.
And that's always like a good kind of indicator to go like, whoa, like, yo, maybe I don't belong like following somebody. Yeah. Maybe it's you. Maybe I need to be the person up front to do that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like, it does take confidence to do it. Like you need to be fucking ballsy as shit to go out there and kind of give it to your all to a group of people that expect people to follow.
Yeah.
I think there's people that believe that they're leaders and have fallen flat. I believe there's people who don't think they're leaders and that are leaders.
Yeah.
I do think it really does measure on how much self-confidence you have.
And what you do when you're put into positions that challenge you.
Yeah.
You see, like, when you're in the hot seat, how you react. Do you crumble and fall and break and, like, tell someone, listen, you need to handle this? Or is there this, like, animal instinct that turns on and it's like, you know what to do naturally?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't have planned how well you executed this. You couldn't have planned how well you executed.
The queen wants you executed. No, not execution. That's too much.
Okay,
sorry.
Moving on. Okay, anyways, so yeah, if you're a leader, that's awesome. If you're a follower, that's awesome too. It's just your personality. Just know what you are. Okay, last questions to wrap up the podcast. So I'm still on executed. Okay, last questions to wrap up the podcast. For the person who's going to give up on their dream, what would you tell them to not give up?
There's many reasons why not to give up in your dream. I don't want to give like the basic answer, don't give up in your dream, like you can do it, blah blah blah. Like the reality is giving up on your dream is always a bad thing because you'll always feel like you're defeated.
Yeah.
But there's no issue in putting something on hold.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of people, even me running my studios now, like, there's a lot of projects that I would love to do that I'm so gung-ho for and everything. I never quit them. I never stopped them. But you understand that in due time stuff can happen. And I think that's a lot of things that people don't understand when they give up is it's okay to put a project on hold.
Yes.
It's okay if life is getting difficult to stop doing something, but don't stop completely.
Yeah.
Like, do remember that you can always continue where you left off most of the time. I mean, there is some things like if you're like really into working out and like, you know, you do 6 weeks off because of life, like, yeah, I understand that your body might not be there totally, but you can still work out in the end.
Yeah.
But that's probably what I'd say to somebody who's giving up is it's okay to put it on pause, but it's not okay to give up. Like, you know, give yourself space, give yourself time. If it's overwhelming, it's understandable. Life dreams are really difficult to do.
I love that.
But yeah, pretty much don't give up on it. In the more basic short terms, don't give up.
Because life happens and it'll still be there if you let it.
Yeah.
Cool. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, we discussed this a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
But my superpower is to make anything that I think about and that I want appear in my mind.
Yeah, that's
from my mind
freaking
into
awesome.
reality.
So what would you make appear? Popcorn?
Well, what you guys don't know is outside it's like covered in snow in April right now.
April 8th, 9th?
So, yeah, April 9th. Oh, happy birthday to my little brother, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday. What's his name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Happy birthday, Jezza.
It's coming out tomorrow, though, so you'll be old. Older.
Happy 18th and one day.
Oh, yay.
But probably, if you asking me what I would think, a giant sun just appear right there so everything could melt and we could go back to a normal April.
That's a great superpower because then you could like create anything that you wanted.
Yeah.
You could literally could you create your future?
No, that's...
Because it has to be an image that you can
There's
think
a
of.
limitation to it. It has to be an image and it has to be a solid thing. I can't manifest water.
Okay.
I can't
But what if you thought of water?
Yeah, but like, what do you think of water? If I were to think,
fall.
Yeah, but would it just be like a little water droplet that just appears?
The way that you think of it. Maybe you think of an ocean and boom, now you're in it, and then there's no limitations to your power, so you're stuck in the ocean, and you're like, crap, why did I think of that? And then now you start thinking about sharks, and you're like, oh no. So like, you'd have to be careful that you have control over your thoughts for that power to work. Yeah, it's a scary power actually.
Halfway through work.
I'm rethinking
I
this
could
power.
really go for a bong right now. Woo! No, I mean, the thing is there's a limitation on what I can and can't do. It has to be a physical, like, hard object. Like, it can't be a gas, it can't be a liquid. I can think of a cup of coffee, that's fine, because it's a liquid that's inside of a physical object.
An island surrounding a body of water.
I can't do that.
Okay.
Because
land is a physical object.
Land's a physical object that I can touch, yes, but I can't manifest things that are naturally based.
Okay.
Like, I can't...
Nature stays in place.
Yeah. Like, I can't go think about a rainstorm and there'll be a rainstorm.
Okay.
It has to be like,
But you could if you didn't place limits on your power.
Yeah, but like that's a little unfair. That's like, saying, "Oh, I'm super strong. Also, I'm impervious to bullets because I'm super strong." It's like,
yeah, where's the line?
Yeah,
all
so
this
like
about lines again.
The line mostly is about is when it comes to physical things, and there is like a level. I can't manifest a fucking jumbo jet to like appear like that. If it wasn't.
I love how you're saying this like you have the power, and you're like, yeah, I obviously can't do that. But if I wanted popcorn right now, I could snap my fingers and do it. So, okay, last question. What is the meaning of life?
I'm 20 years old. I don't even know this yet.
That's okay.
The meaning of life.
What is your meaning of life?
My meaning of life is to make sure that everybody around me is as happy as possible. Because the reality is that a lot of people are depressed nowadays. A lot of people are sad. A lot of people have really bad self-confidence. And
yes, man.
Like, if you just laugh. Just express yourself. That's enough. Like, even if it's sad expression, like, everybody's going to be sad once in their life.
Yeah.
Twice in their life. Thousands of times in their life.
Or in a day.
Or in a day, yeah, that's true
okay.
too. Like, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to have those feelings, like,
But it's when you put them on pause, or like when you become a robot, that you feel depressed because you can't express.
Yeah. It's the hiding of emotions from friends, family, even yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of self-doubt and self-confidence issues most of the time are masked through like aggression towards other people.
Yeah.
And I mean,
because people don't want to deal with their own shit.
Yeah, people don't know how to too.
They don't want to face themselves, their demons.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I think in the meaning of life for me is the kind of rekindling of emotions between human beings I interact with, and probably also the other big meaning of life is given to us for us to learn. Not all situations are going to be bad. Not all situations are going to be good. Not all situations are going to be one or the other. Learning from that experience, though, is the most important thing. I think the meaning of life is that take what you've learned, not only with a grain of salt, but also like the whole shaker. Because, everything's a double-edged sword in the long run in life. Nothing you do doesn't have consequences, good or bad. And I think learning and knowledge is the actual meaning of life, because if we didn't have knowledge, we didn't have learning, we wouldn't be in the society we live in now.
No.
We wouldn't be...
So it's to evolve.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. Evolution's weird because...
Evolution is weird because we always end up going back to our roots.
Yeah.
And then evolving again.
But
just like style.
But learning, you can always go back, but you can always keep going. Like, the thing is, like, when you do evolution, you have to, like, you evolve, but you look back at, like, the first thing. When you learn new facts, you learn different things, you add on to it, you just keep adding. You never really kind of, like, go all the way back. You're not going back to, like, I don't remember anything.
It's true.
So, I think it's a little bit different, like, the evolution and the whole idea of, like, learning as a whole.
Okay.
But, I mean, evolution's a big part of that, too. I mean, we've evolved to have, like, bigger brains, stuff like that. So,
yeah. It's crazy, man.
All the weird stuff that we've gone through in life. And I think also learning... I think it's probably one of the most important characteristics in a human being is the idea... like,
the need to learn and improve and grow and evolve. I really believe that learning and evolving are synonymous. Because I feel like there's no evolution if we didn't learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And there is no learning
without
evolving.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it that way. That makes sense. Yeah, I can see it that way. But
so that's cool. So your meaning of life is to please everyone around you.
Mm-hmm. And teach everybody around.
And teach everyone. And learn.
And learn. And in the same time, yes.
Yeah.
Give and receive.
Give and receive. Which brings it back to the beginning of our episode.
BDSM.
Yeah. Okay,
got so excited
awesome.
I spilled tea all over myself.
That's okay. There's more if you want it.
There's more tea or BDSM?
No, tea! Okay, that's it, Max. We're piecing it. Boom.
Yep.
Ow, you're wearing rings.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Peace, guys. I'm so sorry.
It's so okay. It is so okay.
I'm so used to everybody else, like, when
but it's fine.
we do it on the side.
I got, what?
We always go like that.
I've never, what kind of fist bump is that?
No, you go like this.
Yeah.
And then boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
Or that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, up and down.
That one, but we also do it from the side because we go like this from the back. So it's you go like this, and then you slide all the way to you hold hands like that. So you pull it, and then you go boom, or from the back.
Okay.
So you like that. That's what
sick.
we did. Yeah.
Okay.
Peace, guys.